Okay. So, Viper against Mr. Yo, quarterfinals here. Obviously, two absolute beasts of the game. And I'm trying to catch up pretty late, but now I'm live. OrnLu, your thoughts on the set and your predictions?
So this is obviously a super sick set. Quarterfinals, it seems so early for either of these players to be going out, but I think it will be really close, but I generally don't bet against the Viper, so I'm going to say Viper 3-2.
Okay. I think I will go for 3-1 here for the Viper. Maybe our chats can also give some of their predictions and say what they think. Viper, he wasn't really tested in the group stage. Mr. Yo even lost to MBL 3-2 in a close one.
It was definitely that was one of the best sets of the tournament. Super close set between him and MBL, but MBL, as we just saw, is looking super good. And yeah, we'll have to see how it pans out. And also here, in game number 1, we've got Mongols versus Slavs. Mongols we've been seeing with lots of laming stuff, as we see Viper abscond with a couple of goats of Mr. Yo, whereas Slavs have a pretty good win rate, but not played anywhere near as much.
And I think their win rate shouldn't be that sexy against Mongols, while the Viper is taking good look with their scout at the TC and down to 15 HP.
Oh, man. In case you didn't know, I was actually secretly training with Viper, just to show how you should use your scout against town centers.
Okay, good job.
It's about baiting them into a false sense of security.
Ah, okay. So he's a quick learner, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, Viper clicking up 18 pop with Loom, certainly well within the realm of normal stuff for Mongols. Notably, Yo does have 4 on wood, likely going to be going for some sort of men-at-arm opening, potentially. But going to be down a couple goats, not going to be the greatest ever.
No barracks thus far. After he sends the villager forward, now 4 on berries is going for the loom. So pop 20 could make a lot of sense, but honestly, that looks also quite heavy, like a scout opening to me. No barracks.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Kind of, I guess, a little bit of a different way of going about it, but I suppose that is fine. Yep, just doing the normal scouts thing, but he will be a fair bit slower up to feudal age, as you generally are against Mongols. But if he can be safe at home, just play a bit more defensively, make sure he goes for some early spearmen, he should be all right.
Still no barracks. That is quite some delay most of the time. Well, 60% is the timing, and yeah, that's where he moves out. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I think just the spearman has to fly in, then maybe some wall here around his woodlines, and he should be fine. Generally, his map still very open.
Yeah, most KOTD maps are pretty bad. I think, strangely enough, the back of Yo's base is the most open, which is always a little bit weird, but it'd be kind of a nightmare to wall all the way to the edge of the map. Whereas Viper seems to be having wood lines that are a little bit on the side. And
What is happening here? Mr. Yo is dropping 2 farms. Is that a full spearman defense? He's not going scouts then.
No.
What is this?
I mean, clearly Yo has something in mind here. Spearman instantly queued up.
This feels really
What if you
weird.
just go full spearman, walls, and then just try and get a really good castle age time?
Okay,
with
he will drop
platforms?
the stable.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just delayed it a bit. So, scout numbers will be pretty far behind. Look at that. We have the 3rd scout by the Viper at 50%, while the stable is at 50% only.
Yeah, I realized why he did that, Nelly. He lost 2 sheep, right? So he wanted to make sure he still had food income that he needed.
Yeah. It just felt like such a weird timing. Most of the time you see the farm dropped off like mid-dark edge then, or you delay a bit longer and try to do them, but pop 20 and still trying to squeeze out 2 farms. Well, he makes it work somehow, right? Can afford both eco upgrades, now 2 spearmen out, but Viper slips through.
He slips through the gigantic 6-lane highway at the entrance of Yo's base. Oh, man. But, yeah. Yo, actually, even cheekily luring a zebra still. Some quick walls should be perfectly adequate here. Viper not taking much more damage from the town center. And things are, fairly normal so far.
Look at that. Viper parks those 2 Spearmen trying to block that opening while the scouts are still active, but Mr. Yo is walling. Well, no losses for now. More spearmen coming over, and Viper continues with the scout production.
Yeah, Viper's normally the sort of guy who would try to cut back on as many units that he doesn't feel he needs to make, but still keeping up with scouts up to 5 right now with another one on the way. So clearly looking for at least some decent amount of feudal age oppression. It's the Mongols versus Slavs thing. Pressure!
He, behind this, is doing a good job of controlling his map as well. Will be completely walled, most likely, before Mr. Yo ever gets the time to breathe and move out. There's probably a lot of spearmen on the field, and I honestly fear for Slavs when we ever get to Mangodai.
Oh yeah, then Mongols just gonna actually live up to their history and just go full Mangodai and just wreck everything that Slavs ever hoped to accomplish and dream of in life.
Okay, give me a quick history lesson. Was there ever like Slavs Mongolian war or something?
Oh yeah, no, the Mongols ruled Russia for like several hundred years. They sent in, they expanded westward to Russia and then completely overran them. They were busy fighting themselves and the Cumans, and so the Mongols just tore them apart super easily.
Okay. Well, that could maybe help or come to reality as well. Thus far, Mr. Yo doing a better job of not fighting himself, but the house killed.
House is killed, but still not losing a villager, so it's not really that big of a deal. Viper now grabbing wheelbarrow, and I don't see an archery range transition from either player, so they might just want to take it to Castle Age.
2 scouts lot there, indeed. Yeah, I don't really think archery range is really an option for Slavs, and Viper will feel comfortable playing the long game with Mongols.
Didn't you see
as
the
well.
Doubt series earlier?
With Slavs. Oh well, yeah, that was an interesting crossbow play. Did you have an answer why crossbow was the choice there?
No, I was very confused, as I'm sure you were.
We didn't even go too deep into it, but yeah, it looked very untypical.
Yeah, well, still, it was a really close series, and good for Velessa that he's able to get a first big tournament showing, but also very sad for the Lord.
Feels like the Lord MBL could have been crazy hype there, and now MBL in a really, really good spot to go deep in this one.
Yeah, that's what everyone in my chat is saying. And it's all a matter of like MBL winning a super narrow series against Yo. Otherwise, Yo would be an MBL spot and then have, I think, inarguably the much easier side of the bracket.
Yeah, but because also Larry screwed up, right? So it was like the 2 upsets that made this bracket quote unquote easier.
Yeah, definitely. And then also Tato getting upset by Velessa.
Yeah.
But anyway, things are progressing fairly normally. Castle Age time looking to be a little bit faster here for Viper, but probably not going to be more than 30 seconds. And it'll be interesting to see how these guys transition, because although once Mangu die out, Slavs are going to be very sad, I do think they can do a ton of...
For the Viper. Oh, he had the resources and now needs to rush out the blacksmith there with 6 villagers.
He's playing too much Khmer. Then Yo banned it. Viper doesn't know what to do. But like I was saying, I think some really strong mid-game aggression from Slavs, which they're going to be very good at, can catch Mongols off guard before they can get to Mangodai.
Yeah, like Mangodai will take some time here, right? He has 2 horrible stone spots, both outside, so I think it will be an opening in another direction. Not even sure what he wants to go for, honestly. I don't want to say it. Do you want to say what I think Viper might go for?
What, Step Lancers?
I wanted to say CA.
Oh, but it doesn't have an archery range.
It's forging. Yeah. He might go Step Lancers indeed, yeah.
What we'll have to see. Yo, I assume, is just going to be going for knights, and indeed there's stable number 2 on the way. Much more streamlined game plan there, stable coming in for Viper, and he can use camels to defend. He could go for knights of his own, but he's going to need to be a little bit careful, as the economy of Yo is going to be a lot stronger in the mid game.
Indeed, Camel's not really an option for the Viper either, because we have so many Spearmen out here already, and that makes it pretty tricky. Scouts trying to find an opening, not really given to them by Mr. Yo, who is doing a good job of scouting the map behind this.
Yeah, that's something that I definitely notice in Yo's play, is he's pretty diligent about making sure that he has as much of the map scouted, especially like as the game goes on, figuring out where those strategic hills are to control and whatnot. Looks like just one random spearman will be sniped. Nothing too crazy, but right now, Yo with a lot of spearmen, honestly.
I'm a bit surprised by that as well. I think could be a good spot to send a villager forward and try to go for the siege workshop. Did think about it, but is now sending the villager back again.
There and back again. Villager Tale by Mr. Yo. Did nothing. Indeed, it will be for the pikeman play, so the pikeman push potentially pretty potent against Mongols just going for cavalry.
And knight is safe, but the second knight won't be safe. They're slower than the scout, so will easily die. And Viper, yeah, probably the monastery there. Try to go for some shenanigans with the micro. Will be interesting. And oh boy, what do you think? What could have been a good unit against pikeman knight here?
CA.
Oh yeah. I'm annoying every single co-caster at the moment. Would love to see them more, but they are just so bad and apparently not even viable with Mongols.
I really don't understand. I mean, I kind of understand why people are hating on CA right now, but like, as far as I'm aware, mathematically they're exactly the same as they were in Voobly. I think it's just the animations that looks a little bit different, but like timing-wise, their frame delay's the same. Because of the fact that yes, it's higher, but there are more frames per second, so it balances out.
But what is it then?
It should be whatever it is on.
No. What's the difference then? Why does it feel different?
Oh, I think the animation doesn't line up, or the animation lines up more correctly, so it probably looks a little bit different.
So it is shooting the same, but there's only a visual difference?
Yeah, I talked about it a lot with Trirem, who went into all of the number stuff, and that should be the only difference is the animation, because back in ye old days, they fired their arrow before they even drew their bow back, so I think the animation more closely lines that up. So it should be all evened out, but it just looks different, so it's probably... you know, you're not used to microing like that, and you're used to looking at the animations, right?
Okay.
Oh, Yo, not finishing the palisade.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of exposed villagers, so I think it won't be that bad, right? He has 47 villagers, 3 TCs, pikemen chasing, so it felt ugly for a moment that he got in there, but honestly, I think Viper will lose everything.
He will lose everything. One conversion does come down, but 2 monks sniped. Yo already grabbing a relic. That's something that I've also noticed is Yo is very diligent about grabbing relics when he can, and that's always nice to see. Also mining a little bit of stone is Yo. This could be for a 4th town center. Not too sure. I mean, I don't think this is the time for boyars, as much as that would make me happy. But yeah, Viper just chilling, defending.
Well,
Monk should...
Didn't he finish Viper in Red Bull Vololo 1 with Boyars on Land Madness there?
That is correct. Oh. Now that you mention it.
By the way, Mr. Yo is heavily in the base of the Viper, who is a bit more exposed. 30C was a bit later there. Viper, okay, now closes that one. And he will be safe. Is expanding towards the stone. Was a bit later with the 30C, but still 2 villagers ahead.
2 villagers ahead, also has both Castle Age eco upgrades for his farms and lumberjacks. So that's going to make his eco just a little bit more efficient. Still no relics for him, though. But as this game stretches on, if they're at relative parity, I like this more and more and more for Mongols. Okay,
let's take a look. Mongs trying to get sniped here. Viper very aware. And... well, jumps into the TC there.
Oh, wow. Like, I couldn't even tell. Like, did the monk die? No. So yeah, Yo's free trap.
I remember one time watching Tado stream where a scout hit a monk, jumped into the TC, and Tado predicted, okay, the moment we unleash that monk, he actually dies. And he got out of the TC and then dies.
No. You just keep the monk in the town center, and even though it's at 0 health, it will heal back up just from the inherent healing that you get inside buildings. So you can actually bring a unit back from the dead.
Ooh. Well, are you really dead with the 0 HP? That's the question.
Yeah, that's true. That's a more philosophical question. But practically, yeah, if the monk had 0 HP, you can just leave it in the TC and it'll heal back up to at least 1 HP, and then you can eject it.
Sick. Okay. Okay, then the Viper is now trying to cut off reinforcements while Mr. Yo is going for the Monk Pike siege push here. Viper intercepting quite nicely. Mangonel at the front. I think the Viper needs a defensive siege workshop himself.
Oh, definitely. Slavs do get more or less fully upgraded monks, just missing heresy. But still, I think that it's going to be... Oh, well, Campbell coming out. Mangonel kind of exposed. But this is the sort of thing I really want to see from Yo. A lot of really heavy castle age pressure. Viper's getting very close to a castle, though, and I'm worried that for Mr. Yo, this came a little too late.
We'll see about that one. Depends a bit on where Viper will be able to build his castle, because I don't see a spot that protects the bottom side and the top side. That castle is nice for the defense at the bottom, but gold and stone at the top should still be exposed. But he's still keeping 19 on stone. Maybe he gets 2 castles up in time.
Yeah, okay, that's a little bit of a doubt mining camp. Gotta be honest. I think that's 2 tiles away.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be a second castle coming up fairly soon, but if Yo realizes what's going on and can rotate to the north, he should be in a good spot to really heavily pressure Viper. He sees the castle with that outpost, and yeah, should be going right over here.
Viper actually luckily finds both extra gold spots there at the left-hand side. I didn't even know that they had no minimum distance to each other there, apparently. So that is really fortunate for the Snake.
Yeah, they're like right next to him. Yeah, that's definitely very fortunate. Couple monks here from Viper, but they are fairly exposed to potential mangonels, and now these villagers are going to be in a fair amount of jeopardy. Viper still does have the eco lead over Yo, though, for the time being.
Viper really deleted his monastery. That's something I would never do if I still have 2 monks alive. And while we see the engagement now, Mangodire out, Mangonel is getting sniped.
Mangonel sniped, the pikemen are rolling in, but Viper's military count is looking very low right now, over 3 times the army here for Mr. Yo, plus 2 defense coming in now as well. And if Yo just keeps up with the pikes, the siege, the monks, knights and stuff, this is still going to be a very tricky spot for the Viper, because the Mangudai only annihilate Slavs in Imperial Age. Like, mid-game, it's still, I think, very competitive.
Is that so? I thought once he gets to like 10, 12 Mangudai, he's looking pretty hot. While we see... Oh god, that's a too aggressive cast. It's Viper puts this one pretty far to the left-hand side. And oh god, that's going to be a good one for Mr. Yo.
Oh yeah, like, Yo's castle placements always, I think, are like so good, but that is going to be so bad for Viper if that one gets up. Still could be getting a faster Imperial Age time potentially, but to get to Imperial Age you need to like not die right now, and the not dying right now thing is a little tricky right now for Viper.
Oh, gets conversions there against the Knights. Mangudai are dying, so many villagers dying at the top. 30 population lead now, and Mr. Yo is looking pretty damn strong. Villagers trying to expand to the left-hand side. Not sure if Yo saw that. He still had very little idea about that gold, but he is getting curious now.
He's getting curious. He sees the mining camp. Might think that all of the villagers that were there are now in the town center. So Viper might escape with this for the time being. Also, Yo just grabbing the relic right here. Those little things, man, are so cool to see. But Yo's looking really good against Viper, doing the pressure just when he needed to.
Viper's building a castle. He loves hills so much. It feels like it's a bit in no man's land. Simply was too late there with the defense on his top TCs, and that will be a lot of villagers completely. Well, his base is cut in half, basically.
Yeah, he really can't defend the north side too well, and that's going to be 2 town centers down. Yeah, Viper is going full nomad style and is building town centers every which way. He will be able to really start to get the Mangudai numbers up and rolling, but Yo is honestly looking for Imperial Age himself, able to mine up some of Viper's gold with the forward villagers. So yeah, it's looking really good right now for Mr. Yo in game 1.
Well, this 5 Mangudai for now, 2 more in production. No ballistics, that means the monk actually is fleeing away from that castle. And will get home.
Monk don't care. So like, yeah, you know, fire your arrows at me. I'm strong enough to hold that huge relic.
It's actually weird how he doesn't have back pain, right?
Well, that we know of. He could be taking some herbal medicine for his, arthritis.
Oh! Yeah, and heal up a bit faster at home.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Imp a little bit faster here for Yo. This could be really big, as the Treb War is definitely quite likely, although with Slavs against Mongols, you have to be very careful about Mangudai potentially sniping your Treb, but this is still 34 military to 9.
Well, and those 9 are good, but not good enough, most likely. Viper still has reasonable gold control, did an okay job of saving his villagers, is still at 88, although he lost basically 2 TCs already, so that was a nice hold. Is trying to make some raids happen, but not with Mr. Yo.
Nope, Castle comes in just in the nick of time, and Yo's secondary golds are at least quite safe for him. And the Ram train is still getting larger and larger. And the thing with Mangudai that I feel like is underappreciated a lot of the time is that they're one of like the slowest training unique units. I believe 26 seconds to train. And yeah, that's a long, long time.
Not really sure what the next steps for Viper should be here. Like, yeah, I'd probably stay on Mangudai, but do you even skip Mangudai production to get some traps out? Where are you getting traps? You probably want to deal with the one at the top there, but oh boy, he might even lose the left-hand side.
Oh wow, it was spotted by Yo. Not too sure how he did that actually, but he sees it. And that TC is actually chock full of villagers. Oh man, this is looking really grim right now for Viper. Because, as you were suggesting, castles, they can produce Mangudai, they can produce trebuchets. They can't do both. And Yo, he doesn't really have that problem. He can just start making trebuchets while getting his cavalier upgrades. And Viper can dance around for a while, but ugh.
Yo, just crazy. Like, you reached Imp with like 1.5k food, 1.2k gold. Maybe a bit of a sloppy production. There could have been more knights in the field, but his production is now looking pretty hot.
Oh yeah, he's got, what, 6 knights queued up? Cavalier, Plate Barding, and Conscription all coming in at once, killing tons and tons of villagers for Viper. Yo looking at around a 60 population advantage. I mean, Viper's gonna need some Mongol magic to hold on at this point.
Uh-oh, and yeah, I can't wait for the AoEs on thread. GL washed up, Taro falling yesterday, Doubt falling today, and now Viper. Well, it obviously doesn't make a lot of sense to talk about it already, but game number 1 looks pretty much in control of Mr. Yo. Mangudai need to work some magic.
Yeah, it's, I suppose, not impossible at this point, but it's like the next best thing to over right now. Mangudai trying to go for a little bit of raiding, but now that Cavalier plus 4 coming in, Viper needs to be careful. Nice quick reaction time there. But now that the trebuchets are going to start trundling in, I did see Captaram coming in as well for Yo. It does have 4 of those already, and at this point, it just feels like Viper is too far on the back foot.
Indeed, Mangudai out of the question as well. Economy simply not there. Is sitting at 90 villagers, but had to reproduce so many of those as well. KD 74 to 50.
Yeah, it's the KD is only a little bit better for Yo. That's a little bit of a late bow saw in my opinion, but you know that might just be me. Hussar now coming in as well, going to be nice in terms of rounding out his military. Make sure that he can always keep up with production. Cavalier now leaving. Not too sure why. I guess the castle's still going to get sniped though.
I'm surprised as well. That felt a bit weird. Traps were a bit exposed, but Rams did need to get focused down first. Now the TC under heavy pressure. Starting TC will be lost, and wow, pop 180 against 115. It's not in Viper's hands anymore who wins this game.
Yeah, I really don't think so. Is cheekily taking stone to the far south of the map, so at least he'll have more potential castles in the future. I just don't think he's going to survive the next couple minutes. Elite Mangudai is somehow able to be squeezed out for Viper, but I mean, those Mangudai numbers are going to be very heavily thinned by the time he gets that upgrade.
Yeah, 23 at the moment. Now taking the fight there up the hill. Is taking an okayish one, but numbers are just overwhelming for Mr. Yo and Viper. I think he just stays in this game to get some warm fingers. First game of the day syndrome. And, well, Mr. Yo looked really sharp there. How did Viper have so little army in Castle Age?
Well, I mean, Viper went for some Viper greed. He was mining stone very heavily. But the eco of Mongols is just so inferior to the eco of Slavs at that point, and Yo was producing pikemen and knights all at the same time. Viper was just trying to skirt by with some camels. And yeah, Yo punished him really well in winning what would otherwise be a pretty tough matchup. So really good on him.
The option, like, double archer range crossbow is probably the standard here what Mongols can play. He went for double stable, did go some knights, did go for some monks, but simply no answer to pikeman siege, and went greedy on stone. I think more Castle Age army that wasn't Mango Dice could have been a thing. Question mark?
Honestly, the CA might not have been the worst idea ever. At least you're getting your Mango Die upgrades at that point. But yeah, I mean, Yo's eco was just so much stronger at that point. He was able to afford the same thing as Viper, but one, his army is better, and he was able to mix in pikemen and a lot more siege as well. And yeah, just really, really good stuff here. And 4 relics too, why not?
Why not indeed? And that was the last pick for Mr. Yo against the second row of picks of the Viper. So fortunate for him there. And I think Mongols should have been the favorite in that matchup. So lovely job by Mr. Yo. But still plenty of more AoE to come.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is just the beginning of this series.
Ooh. So what are we going for next here, being the Viper? Still so many crazy civs for Mr. Yo there. Aztecs, Incas, Celts. Ooh, I'm so scared of everything Mr. Yo has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't understand all these people letting Aztecs through the bans and then not picking them. I feel like, I don't know, I would just have Aztecs banned in almost every case, especially if I'm not picking first. But Yo's civs are like really strong aggressively. Like all of those civs can execute a ton of pressure in Feudal Age or early Castle Age or whatever. Whereas Viper civs, I would say, tend a little bit more towards defending.
And Viper should be the higher seed. So he decided to give Mr. Yo A. So he allows Mr. Yo to get Aztecs here. It's full. He had everything in control. And just decides, okay, I will give you Aztecs, and then we'll take Mayans myself, probably.
Yeah, I suppose so, but I feel like Aztecs are better than Mayans, at least by a little bit. And having Lithuanians too is not bad, but I mean, in general, they're just picking a bunch of good civs.
Makes sense, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, we see more or less like 8 of the 10, civs are all seen in most series.
Okay, color switch now by the Viper.
Oh.
That's going to be ugly. No, okay. He went back to it now.
Okay. Are they not in the game?
No, we're not in the game yet. But
okay.
Krasini left the lobby, so they will start pretty soon here.
And here we are.
And, well, it is the Viper now going for Malians, a civilization that he loves a lot, against Celts for Mr. Yo. And, oh boy, is that distance short.
It's a very short rush distance indeed. This is a pretty interesting matchup here. I mean, Malians are obviously just such a flexible civ, can do more or less anything until Imperial Age, whereas Celts, it's either you go for the crazy aggression or you go for very, very passive play in mid-game. So we'll have to see what Yo is going to opt for here.
Well, if he scouts those 3 gold spots of the Viper, there's no way this game will not be super crazy and aggressive.
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree. Also, just to make things worse, I'd say neither player has a super amazing map to wall. I guess maybe I like Yo's a little bit more, but it's still, pretty darn open for the most part.
just look at, like, Mr. Yo has a defensive gold, defensive berries. Viper, triple aggressive or offensive gold, open berries on a hill. This is, luckily he has a defensive woodline, but except that, it's close to as bad as it gets.
Also, defensive stone mine at the very least, in case towers come in, which is certainly something that Yo is capable of. But yeah, that's definitely Viper forgot to turn on his map hacks when he woke up this morning.
Huh. Or maybe it's outdated because we are playing on the old patch. I'm not really sure what's happening there. Need to investigate. And the question is, will he push some, you know, I think especially against Mr. Yo, I love to get my scouting intel.
Yeah, I think that players in general in this tournament have been very deer pushing heavy, or ostrich/zebra pushing, but especially when you're against an opponent that you know can do a lot of crazy aggressive things, I think that it's not a bad idea to get that scouting intel, at least especially against Celts, who can go for some really, really early aggression.
Maybe he's taking a close look at the score at all times. Mr. Yo at the moment behind there, so I'm a bit surprised. Look at that, Mr. Yo is actually out on the map, and Viper leading in score still, although he's pushing deer.
Yeah, interesting. Viper does have some pretty decent scouting around his base, though. Yo is looking around, potentially out for blood. Do we see a mill coming in? Yes, we do. So it's not going to be the earliest potential drush that we've seen throughout this tournament. But still could be going for a more standard aggressive opening.
Could also just be men-at-arms. Let's take a look. Scouts seeing each other now. Just passing.
Yeah, you know, wave hi to each other. Go on their way.
Oh, that's not waving anymore. Did you coach Mr. Yo as well?
Oh, yeah. I coached all the players, actually.
Okay.
I've been very busy.
Okay. Okay, going for the second elephant now. Still has a lot of food under his TC. Just scared of Mr. Yo things.
I would be too in this situation. But Yo already with both of his elephants in. And no barracks as of yet. Also Viper with 4 on wood. So not like, I mean, sometimes we see scouts opening with Malians, but with barracks now coming down, this looks very much, at least to me, like men-at-arms via men-at-arms.
I think it's drush by the Viper. His typical approach, 3 on wood is men-at-arms, 4 on wood is the drush.
Oh, okay. Well, I trust your knowledge on this. And I guess it's a pretty normal drush time as far as going for the mill first, also luring in some of the deer. Gonna really help the food. You go, Viper, no!
What happened?
That close.
What happened?
Oh, he almost ran into the TC.
Okay. 39 HP against 30 now.
Yeah.
Did he scout anything? I honestly think with Viper's map, I think Drush Flush might struggle against men-at-arms, right? How do you get control of your front area?
Not well. And in Viper's situation, I think that honestly going for men-at-arms towers yourself would be a pretty strong option, but that's just not something that Viper really does too often.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. Yo's definitely going for, I think, a very normal-looking men-at-arms opening. So we'll have to see if the Drush can deal with that.
Perfect Dark Edge from him. 10:06, 1 second behind the perfect timing there. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, Viper actually pretty fortunately finding 2 of those goats, but Mr. Yo knows what's up, but should have less HP or fewer.
And the goats don't know what to do, but the power walking Celtic militia comes in, and that will be forcing Viper away.
Power walking Celtic militia.
Yeah, man.
OrnLu. Yeah, I never saw it before, but now I can never unsee it.
Congrats. This is how my mind works.
Oh. Okay.
That's actually a militia number 4 coming in here for Mystery.
Oh. Okay, 4 militia indeed, as you just said, and that should be a nice mop-up.
Yeah, definitely. Viper not quite able to commit with the scout, and the speed bonus is really nice. Just, you kill 1 militia, and then your militia can just change from target to target just that much more quickly, and it can really snowball these sorts of things as Yo is able to walk away with 3 militia still standing, men-at-arms instantly queued up, and Viper's going to need to have some sort of defense here. I mean, he's going for a quick uptime to Feudal Age after the Drush, which I really like, but it's still going to be a while before he gets a decent amount of archers out.
I expect 2 archery ranges being dropped in front of his berries. Needs some walls behind this one though. Scout obviously can't really be used being in Dark Age. Tries to run away there, and villagers are being pulled to the side. I think some walls around his berries could come in really handy.
Indeed they will, but archery range number 1 coming in. Is he... Okay, he's going double archery range. I definitely like this. I think going for archery range plus blacksmith would be way too greedy in this instance. Because Yo's already got an archery range. It's like, it's not technically a forward, but it's it's pretty close, right?
Yeah, I saw forwards with the same distance for sure. Viper gets the snipe on the scout. Actually gets a hit off on the skirm. Solid job. 5 HP still left. We'll get probably a confirmation on the blacksmith timing. And oh boy, do I hate the placement of the archer ranges. Not that he could have built them better, but how it ended up just looks so ugly behind the gold.
Yeah, they're not really providing you any sort of protection. Viper is coming in with a contingency wall here, but it is delaying heavily his gold production. We're looking at 6 military to 1 right now. And Celt, infantry, yeah, of course, archers will still counter them quite well, but they can, if the archers are out of position even a little bit, the men-at-arms will jump on them and kill them. So this is still a very tricky hold for Viper, especially as fletching comes in here for Yo.
7 on food only, so can't produce too many skirmishes. I think mainly tries to go for archers. 4 villagers now back onto it. Obviously being a bit faster, having the gold upgrade, Viper camping the hill, and Yo can't engage before fletching.
Nope, but fletching is now in for both players. We would expect Yo's army to be doing quite well. Men-at-arms are still on reasonable HP, but no, Viper with a nice quick ball is going to go to the berries, but of course that is not being taken by Viper right now. Things seem fairly even so far.
Wouldn't life be so much easier if Viper's just building a defensive tower at his gold?
Yes, definitely. But if he did that, he wouldn't be Viper. At least not until he absolutely has to. Is instead the stable going to be coming in, obviously going to be giving him scouts, going to be better military option in the long run. But right now his gold is just under so much pressure. You have to imagine it's a pretty decent amount of idle time. And yeah, he's going to really need some scouts pronto.
Was pushed away from his berries there as well. And well, I think his base design was a bit different.
Oh, men-at-arms coming in from the north onto Viper's lumberjacks.
Ooh, and no reaction there thus far.
Oh.
He doesn't notice. He doesn't notice.
He notices, but that is only after a villager has gone down, forced off of the gold as well. Neo's just going to ski-daddle out there with those men-at-arms. And they're still just going to be posing a constant threat into the back of Viper's base, who is, of course, notably not walled right now.
No.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, men-at-arms now decimated to only half HP 1. Scout count, for how many do you wait before you show your scout tech?
I think three sounds good.
Stable's actually shown. He knows about the stable, so that's why we see some spearmen and archers mixed in now.
Yep, that definitely looks pretty solid to me. Neither player is super close to Castle Age, but at least Yo's economy is significantly less idle. One defensive watchtower actually now coming in here for Yo. Not too sure about that.
Look at how much safer he plays it compared to Viper. Like, builds it with 3 villagers there. Yeah, he doesn't have eyes on the archers for quite some time, but they're looping around a completely different angle.
Yeah, I don't think... and then, of course, the archers will snipe the spearmen, and then Yo will at least know where they are coming. Wheelbarrow now coming in here for Yo as well. And I still am thinking he's in a pretty good spot to, hang on and click to a slightly better Castle Age time.
Feels like it. Obviously not the greatest base here. Will run out of his woodline pretty soon, then needs to expand towards the top. But walling that one off quite nicely already. Viper dancing around a bit and thinks it's completely walled, or why is he... Oh yeah, he has very little vision.
Yeah, that's a part of what happens when you go for the very heavy, deer pushing play. You just don't end up scouting as much. Viper is sending 1 scout cavalry actually in the other direction as Yo is building a market. Not too sure why. It's not like his eco is horribly balanced or anything, but maybe he's going to try and just really squeeze out a quick Castle Age.
So
and Viper does build the defensive tower.
Yeah, but this was the moment where he was not pressured at all. So the timing feels a bit off. Huh. Bit surprised by that. Now goes for the aggression. Is he trying to make something happen in Feudal Age? Doesn't look like it. Now no more production out of him.
Nope, but his army is currently a decent bit larger than is Yo's, and a bit scarier, as Yo never actually built a second archery range. But Yo is actually with a pretty big eco lead. He has Wheelbarrow Vipers getting it right now, and Yo is still 2 villagers ahead anyway. So Viper's going to definitely need to make something happen, as Yo is actually just about ready to click up to Castle Age, even after all this aggression, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, only 1 archer range and simply not a lot of losses there. What did he lose? 1 scout, 4 men-at-arms, 1 spearman. So he actually lost only 1 ranged unit this whole game.
Wow, that's pretty nice control there for Yo. Villager getting kind of stuck up in those archers. Is actually building a stone wall behind this.
Scouts just parking. Now running away again, and Viper just keeps the aggression up. So his later Castle Age timing won't be too bad. I think he will buy himself enough time so that he will get the upgrades till they fight in front of his base.
Yeah, I think that Viper is still in an okay spot. I think the problem now for Celts is that this is where gotta be careful, gonna be losing a villager. This is where Malians are at their strongest, and this is where Celts are gonna be at their weakest, at least as the Castle Age progresses. So you're gonna need to really make these knights work.
Oh, that's something tricky. And Viper, does he have a chance to scout the double stable there? What surprised me? C is okay. Defensive tower, sees stone walls, sees 2 stone spots, so he knows his opponent will play 1 TC, but only seeing 1 archer range, you kind of could get suspicious here, no?
Especially when you know that, okay, my army is entirely skirmishers, well, almost entirely skirmishers with some scouts. Knights would be the smart thing to go for. So I think that would make sense. But then Viper, with 2 stables himself now, getting bloodlines and +1 defense, Viper's going to be very happy to just take this one to a cavalry fight, as he has both bloodlines and camels as an option.
Let's take a look. Double stable, as you said. Now dances, and Mr. Yo actually sends 2 villagers out. Wants to go for the aggressive siege workshop. That's actually not too far away from his home base, but still pretty much in Viper's face.
Yeah, I mean, it's only around halfway between their town centers, but still very, very close. And, well, Viper hitting Castle Age still has the numbers advantage, but those skirmishers are in for a world of hurt right now, as those knights are right on top of them. He will see the siege workshop and won't be able to stop it, but, I mean, now Viper does know what's coming, as he's instantly making camels.
Scouts need to be preserved here. They should be so good against the monks potentially later on. Camels now fighting against the knights. Mr. Yo pulls them instantly. Lovely moves here. And, well, this one, kind of as we predicted, is going to be wild in Castle Age.
Oh yeah, Scorpion's now actually going to be the unit of choice for Mr. Yo. I mean, I guess it's just, like a decent range support unit. Also, still lots of spearmen being added in, really like that. And Viper now going for a monastery. Malians do have fully upgraded monks at this point, so he could possibly just try and go for some conversions, maybe even get redemption if he's under a lot of pressure, but Viper is not in the worst spot ever to hold, but it's still going to be tricky.
2 villagers behind, both wheelbarrow as mentioned earlier. Eco upgrades looking way better for the Viper though. Look at that, 5 eco upgrades against 2, but, well, Mr. Yo is trying to get closer to that one, now dives in.
Indeed, there is a monk here for Mr. Yo. Viper not quite with a monk ready just yet, and Viper will be forced back. That is just like, it's kind of a ragtag army here for Yo, but there's just so much of it that Viper isn't really able to take a fight with a low damage unit like the camel.
He took the perfect fight, no? He did so much damage, didn't lose a single unit, now just needs to heal up, and that was perfect for him. Did snipe the monk behind this one, now gets the mangonel. Yeah, he lost 2 knights, but that bought himself so much time. Now dives in for another snipe. That was lovely by the Viper.
Yeah, if he can heal those camels up, like so many of those camels are like almost dead right now, but if Yo doesn't realize that, then that would be a huge win for Viper. Notably though, Yo is on stone, and I would be surprised if this is for just more TCs? Because I feel like Yo wants to keep up the pressure right now.
It's 3 on stone. Most of the time, if you want to go for castles,
true.
it's more. But, well, number 4 is now coming, and 4 is more than 3. So, well, drops the TC.
Oh, yeah, there it is. So, yep, still going to be trying to leverage a good eco, and he is still slightly ahead in terms of villagers. Eco upgrades on a little bit, just a little bit behind. The very quick heavy plow, I think, is interesting for Viper, since he did it in the last game, too. So this is clearly something that thinks it's something he wants to prioritize as quickly as possible. But pikemen now coming in here for Yo. Obviously, that is going to be very, very good against those camels. And it's still just going pike siege. Sounds like a really good bet against Malians.
Okay, Viper tries to loop around with 2 knights. Mr. Yo saw it, sends 3 knights for the defense. Lovely stuff there. And I think it now really comes down to Mangonel Micro, although there won't be really a lot of Mangonel Micro. Oh, Viper is not jumping on it. It felt like a solid timing.
Yeah, maybe a little bit caught off guard and didn't want to commit to something that he wasn't completely sure on, but some conversion should be coming in on both sides. Mangonel should be going down. I don't think there are enough pikemen. Well, never mind. Pikemen are really good against camels.
Oh boy, indeed they are, and I have no idea why Viper thought he could take that fight before the Mangonel is out. Now with the Mangonel shot, that's just so much better against the pikemen, so much better against the monks of his opponent as well. He needs to run, is saving his 3 monks though.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be very important, but yeah, he's still just under a ton of pressure. 24 military to 9. Viper himself is on 2 TCs as well as Yo, so their ecos will continue to be relatively even, but it's just a matter of momentum, having the better army, and all of that is in favor of Yo as he gets another conversion.
Now some archers being mixed in conversion here before it gets the last hit off against the Mangonel.
Oh, that was a nice little lucky break for Viper, but he definitely needed it. Viper also with 9 on stone right now. He definitely wants to get the castle up.
Well, 200 stone versus 200 stone. That hill in the center there feels just so crucial. Viper with a small control should have more vision in that area, right? Well, the house, but Mr. Yo with the outpost, both doing a good job of kind of keeping track of the moves of their opponents.
Yeah, quite solid job there. Ram is actually coming in. Doesn't seem like it's destined for much success. 1 Mangonel is sniped, maybe 2 as well. Actually, yeah, I don't think the Mangonel can be repaired. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. What?
He did it!
Wow. Those villagers were just like, you know, like all the holes are springing up in the Mangonel. It's like completely falling apart. There's like duct taping everything.
Everyone grabbing another duct tape and saved that one so nicely.
Oh yeah. But Mangonel survives, and that's really important because he can at least threaten this Mangonel of Yo. Is able to snipe a monk of his opponent.
Oh, Archer's getting out, put out of the tower now. Mangonel shoots up against the Scorpions. So active here, the Viper, and sniping stuff.
Yeah, really nice job here for Viper, but we'll finally lose the Mangonel, the knight cutting through the duct tape. And yeah, that's going to go down. Now the tower is under serious threat. Yo with a lot of Scorpions, I think, is pretty interesting. As now we see a second... Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, he lost the monastery earlier.
Something I would have really loved to see from the Viper, after he had still 4 scouts left and one of them very low HP, to just dedicate that one to scout the top and see if he finds some extra gold spots, some extra stone, and neutral resources there. Could have been so much better for him.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially when he knows he has all of those resources forward. Viper will be getting a defensive castle up, but it like the last game, it only defends part of his base. And right now, Yo is a knocking at the front door.
Is that the only way of pushing?
Probably.
Okay. I will allow it. Gets Botkin arrow now for his castle?
Making some Gebettos. This is the unit of choice?
Get the conversion. I like Gebettos against everything except Mangonels. So, I don't think it's too bad. Just needs to micro the hell out of it.
By the way, I can't remember. How much do Gebettos cost?
You're putting me on the spot, right?
It's from the video you did for Gamer Legion. the
Oh.
quiz video, which made me cry a little bit inside.
Okay, well then I would say 40 gold?
Yes, 40 gold, 50 food.
50 food, okay.
There you go.
I would not have known, but I know that I suffered during the Gamer Legion video. And I remember that that something was more expensive than I thought.
Yeah, I think you guessed like 25 gold or something.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of infantry unique units cost, so that's a fair guess. But
Whew.
Yo is currently saying, Mr. Viper Snake Man, please kindly exit my game. That castle is really well positioned.
Whew. Not unlikely that the most active Gamer Legion player next weekend will be nearly at the caster bench.
Oh, feels bad, man.
Feels Gamer Legion, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Yo is just playing so well, and Viper, again, he's trying to make these transitions. You know, he's trying to transition into Gebettos, but I feel like he's trying to do maybe a few too many things at once. Whereas Yo is just like this, you know, iron fist that just keeps punching him in the face.
Oh, that's such a crazy castle. And if we compare food counts, 7 against 500, Mr. Yo will go up to him pretty soon. And the Chuge battle rate, not the story of nightmares.
No. Oh, unless you're like probably that one villager on the northernmost farm.
Or if you're one Gebetto.
Or yeah. Nope. Don't mind us. We're just passing through.
Some garrison there, and well, Viper still microing his heart out. 30 population behind here is expanding. Did find the extra gold spot. It is a really unfortunate map, though, we have to say. Like, zero control of any golds, while we see Mr. Yo now on the way to imp.
Yes, but considering the map, I really don't like how Viper played it. Like, Viper kind of played it like he had a good map when he didn't have a good map.
What do you think? How should he have played?
Either gone for a much earlier watchtower, so he wouldn't fall behind in early archer numbers, or gone for like a ton of pressure in Castle Age himself.
Well, he was a bit further behind, right? And then the pressure basically came in his face already.
I suppose so. It's really tricky, right? Especially when Yo is playing this well. Not really any breathing room for Viper, so to say, as Yo's now even on his way to Imperial Age, and that really should be the nail in the coffin.
And Viper again, like in the game before, just tries to find a completely random neutral hill, builds a castle on it, and tries to prolong the game, but well, that's not going to be easy because castles are going to fall.
They are going to. Cult Trebs, of course, shooting a little bit faster. Are some Pajama Men coming in? Oh yeah, some Pajama Men are going to be on the way for Yo, and that is going to make Viper's eco even that much more raided.
Well, for now, the eco looks very compact, right? Raids won't be the easiest thing against him. I think we simply need to see some traps, and Viper has no chance of defending them. Or killing traps.
Yeah. A lot of pikemen here, some mangonels as well, and Viper's just nowhere near Imperial Age. This might even be an Imperial Age GG, to be honest.
Pop 109, Gebettos are getting pushed back. Lousy upgrades on these, and him timing GG might feel reasonable, and oh boy, what's the mindset now for Viper?
I mean, we've already seen a reverse sweep today, and if anyone can make a reverse sweep happen, it's Viper. That said, these games were honestly really dominant from Yo. Like, Yo is just looking like totally solid, really strong aggressive plays, especially in the mid game, and Viper seems to just be kind of falling apart.
I think Viper wants to get to Farimba light cav and just play the super long game and try to starve his opponent, but there's a lot of like ingredients missing, like imp, extra TCs, map control, gold control. He got 2 relics somehow.
That's honestly quite nice for Viper, but I feel like this is just way too little, way too late. And even Siege Engineers is already coming in for Yo. That's, I think, really smart, because then you're just going to be able to level those castles so much more quickly. It's going to give your Scorpions a bit more range as well. really interesting upgrade to prioritize.
Most of the time, if I think, okay, it's a close game, and my chat gets very active and is spamming stuff and is adding me, then I look at the score, and most of the time, score is like 8.8 to 5.4k then.
Oh, yeah. That's,
Oh, did he hit the villager instead of the gate? Vipey.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not too sure what Viper thinks he's going to be able to do at this point. Halb now coming in for Yo as well. He's got all the resources he's going to need. And that's actually a lot of Scorpions too, honestly.
Maybe got a donation from his stream there. And... oh no, they're not allowed to... ah, they're allowed to stream on Doyu?
That I do not know.
I think you're not allowed to stream at all. Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense.
Is Viper staying in this game to say that he didn't lose in Castle Age?
Well, I mean, it does feel... there's like a little bit of a moral victory, feels like, when you get to Imperial Age, but... I mean, this is Viper's final castle, I believe. And he just doesn't really have anything on his opponent at this point. Town Center falls right before the castle. Is like all these trebuchets, Fear Celtica coming in, Heavy Scorpion. Yeah, no.
Viper's trying to make something happen here with his light cav. Might find 1-2 trap kills. Will certainly get a Scorpion. No, not even that. And... well, Viper heavily housed as well. Halberdiers are coming in and he doesn't have the Gebetto numbers to deal with them. Gebettos into the Scorpions.
Oh, yeah. Well, the game is over.
Uh-oh.
What do you think is the biggest sort of ingredient missing here for Viper?
I think it was scouting. Honestly. Like, he had such a bad map. Had 3 gold spots that are honestly kind of okay if... while I'm messing up my capture age, that are kind of okay if Mr. Yo is at the top of the map, right? Or at the right-hand side corner, while Viper is at the left-hand side corner. But he was down and exactly towards those gold spots. And then Viper needed to adjust strategy. I think you have to open Man-at-Arms, although Man-at-Arm openings obviously doesn't feel great against Celts.
It doesn't feel great, but it's something that Malians are still very good at, and if you can, say, avoid the engagement until you both have men-at-arms, and then you can just try and keep them alive and then start to mix in your archers and skirmers or whatever, the extra pierce armor is still going to be really helpful at that point.
And I know you're not only a man of geographics, but also a man of math. Oh, give me some... yeah, I had to laugh as well. Give me some percentages. How likely is it that Viper still wins this?
I would give Viper 20% chance.
Okay. I'm a believer. I would have said 25%. But,
so that's all the difference.
Well, every 5th time against every 4th time.
Yeah.
Ay. Celts gone. So Mr. Yo, his worst 2 picks, lost with both of them.
Yeah. This is like, and Yo still has Aztecs. Like if I go for Yo, or if I'm Yo, I just go for Aztecs and I go finish him.
Okay, I'm just checking my phone. GL manager's calling us, and like, not sure if our contracts will still exist in a week.
Well, Viper might just be saying GL to Yo pretty soon.
You mean Tempo Yo?
Tempo Yo.
He trained with Livery and Hera, apparently. That's why a lot of people made that joke. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, if you're Viper, what do you go for here?
Excuses? No. Okay. So, let's think about it. Remember WSVG finals. Mr. Yo leading 2-0 against the Viper, and Viper coming back 3-2. I did an interview with the Viper. What did you think after you were down 2-0? Viper said, I was sure I'd still win. So he doesn't have a problem with confidence. He still has strong civilizations with Lithuanians and Malians. Game number 5, that will get tricky though. The thing is, Mr. Yo, does he get too fancy with Incas here, with Viper's defense? Might be an option. I don't think Viper's chances are too slim. It's just like, he didn't play too poorly. It was unfortunate scenarios there, in my opinion as well. This is very high level. I think Viper, if he just relies on his strengths, still has a good chance to take game after game.
Yeah, I actually... You can never count Viper out. I mean, he was down... He almost got... He reverse swept the Max in, I think, the Hidden Cup 2 finals. In the first KOTD, I think he almost reverse swept him. Leary.
I think KOTD was 3-1 or something for the Max.
Yeah.
After he already played the semifinals and then back-to-back finals, something like that.
Yeah. Point being, Viper can make the comebacks happen.
Your civilization looks so hot, though. Aztecs, Vikings, Franks, Incas. Maybe this is the spot where our chats need to spam something for their beloved player to see Mr. Yo finishing it off 3-0 or to allow Viper to get into the comeback. At least step number 1 to it. Viper will have Lithuanians against Mr. Yo with his finishing serve.
Oh, yeah. Aztecs here for Mr. Yo to the northwest of the map. Lithuanians for Viper here to the southeast of the map. I think it's fairly safe to say that Lithuanians are the breakout civ of this tournament as far as 1v1 Arabia goes. People are just picking them all the time. They're banning them a lot of the time. But to me, Aztecs have always been and will likely always be the kings of Arabia.
Well, yeah. Well, you didn't play in 2004, right? So, yeah. I can see that.
I did, but I was mostly just playing the campaigns.
Ah, okay. So nothing has changed in 16 years.
Nope.
Okay. Mr. Yo with a pretty beautiful map. Double defensive woodline. Gold there in the back. Did find those 2 sheep. I feared a bit for him. Defensive resources that he can push as well. That's a lovely map for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little awkward in terms of just how exactly you can wall it. But as you're saying, all the back resources, I wouldn't be too unhappy with this if I were Yo. For Viper, gold in the back, forage bushes in the back. Fairly wallable. I actually like his map more.
Yeah, the wallable part is something I like more on Viper's map, surely. 2 woodlines there at the front, needs to get some walls in between, and then should be fine. Mr. Yo, bigger task there to wall his map, but also relatively doable.
Oh yeah, you can always wall if you try hard enough. Just ask CL.
Or MBL.
Or MBL, yeah, that's fair.
Okay, something we have to discuss in this matchup, Aztecs against Lithuanians. How are relics positioned? Mr. Yo is housed at pop 10.
He had to sped up.
Oh, I'm not, but he was housed at pop 10.
Yes, that's actually really not good. I mean, he had to grab Loom. A little bit of idle time, obviously. Also, the relics are almost in a perfect plus shape, so that's about as even as you can get.
Yeah, exactly. Like a compass, every direction, one in the middle there, lovely stuff. Now Eagle wants to be a bit annoying there, blocking Viper, getting the ostrich, who has 4 on wood, now wants to go for some walls, but thinks better of it. 5 villagers on wood, didn't want to show that he's building those walls.
Interesting. But I think it's telling from Viper that he is, at least in his mind, he plans on walling so early. And that just goes to show, I think Viper's, he's in full serious mode, right? This is a huge, huge tournament, and it would be a massive disappointment for Viper if he got anything less than, finals, probably.
Yeah, like with how the bracket is shaped out, if you get to the finals, you are the big favorite.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Like, if you can make it there, but obviously you kind of have to run through the gauntlet if you're Viper. I mean, having to go up against Yo, and then either Leary or Hera, and then who I would bet to be MBL.
Yeah, feels very likely at the moment. Mr. Yo just so annoying. Viper, what is he doing there? Try to wall some. Villager will make it home. He has Loom as well. And we're expecting... Oh, Not enough resources. Look at that. He wanted to play pop 19, but didn't have the food. 5 on wood really hurt him.
Oh yeah, that's kind of... Maybe he thought that he would still be able to afford it, but yeah, kind of strange. It's not going to be too big of a deal though. Yeah, you can click up. There we go. 20 pop, still quite a quick uptime, and most likely going to be faster than anything Aztecs are going to be doing.
Okay, now will be completely walled, maybe to collection out of MBL's books. Mr. Yo creating a base for himself as well, goes for the smaller base, and I don't mind this design either.
No, definitely not. Still got the gold in the back, even has access to stone, even if it is a little bit exposed. Notably for Yo, he did not push any of his deer equivalents just yet, although he might be doing that right now. But Yo, sort of to contrast with Viper, has gone very heavy into scouting and really making sure that he knows what his opponent's up to.
Yeah, absolutely. Viper, well, he was completely walled, so like there's no strategy that could surprise him. But or that could punish him. Surprise still, and well, with pop 20, you're in okay spot to adjust to every strategy that Mr. Yo is going for.
Oh yeah, 20 pop scouts just seems like a fairly safe opening. Oh, whoa, these are some tiny walls here for Yo. But yeah, it's gonna be fine. Gonna be opening up 22 pop men-at-arms, same as last game. But Viper, I think, is going to be in a much better spot to defend as his stable comes in as soon as he hits Feudal Age.
A bit low on wood after all his walls to not afford horse color instantly. We'll see all those walls, and the big question is, did he scout the gold there? No, he had no idea. So he will know, okay, Mr. Yo will have a good base.
Yep. It's, well, to be fair, it's fairly vulnerable to, like, a bunch of tower aggression, but that's just not something Viper's gonna do.
Yeah, especially with Lithuanians, like you're going scouts, you're still completely at home. And Viper, how many scouts is he going for here?
I think you need to go for a decent amount against Aztecs, otherwise you're just gonna die. But Men-at-Arm on the way. And I think that neither player is likely to take too much damage, both very focused on making sure they're nice and safe early on.
Viper a bit scared of a forward, scouts the bottom there, knows he can't do damage, knows he can't receive damage, so just wants to make sure that there are no surprises happening. Do you add an archer range here as Lithuanians? Or is it going for Castle Age after some scouts?
I think that it would be really hard to reach Castle Age in a good time without getting killed if you don't add any archery range units, especially if Yo drops an archery range in like the very near future. But that is, of course, not what he's going for. He's adding in plenty of farms very early on. But very notably, Viper has both double bit axe and horse collar. Yo has neither, so that's a nice little win for Viper.
Okay. Well, that's untypical, right? If you're completely walled and you know you're not going to fast castle this one too quickly, obviously the wall coming in time, that Mr. Yo skipped so many upgrades. Did go for 2 spearmen and then an eagle first. Or not an eagle, only 2 spearmen. Now double bit axe.
Alright, so definitely later than Viper. He is also a villager behind due to being housed, or at least most of one. And ooh, that's going to be a nice little spearman pick for the Viper. Definitely going to be happy about that.
Moved over there with the patrol. That's why he could attack, while Mr. Yo only used the waypoint. That at the front is not open, and we see indeed the archer range and the blacksmith, so he will squeeze in some skirmishers. Interesting.
Yeah, I think he probably thinks his opponent's going for archers. I mean, Men-at-Arm into archer is, fairly normal, but that's not what Yo is doing at all. Yo is not making an archer range, he's just making infantry. He's adding in a blacksmith, and I wonder if his second building's going to be a market. Just go full infantry.
Well, could make a lot of sense in my opinion. Mass Eagles is just lovely as an Aztec player. Go for pikemen if your opponent is going for the Mass Knights that we're kind of expecting of Lithuanians. How many relics did Viper scout? He sees 2 for now.
Yes, but he does have a bunch of scout cavalry, so, it's to the point where both players are pretty comfortable that they're not going to take any damage until Castle Age. Viper can just send his scouts in, like, every direction and find all the relics.
You think Skirms is the right choice here for a Lithuanian player? Or is Archer maybe an option against all those men-at-arms?
I mean, I think from what we see, obviously archers are the better choice. But if Viper thinks that his opponent's going for a bunch of archer follow-up, then the skirms would make more sense because, especially with Aztec faster production and good eco and all that, he could be overwhelmed potentially. But skirm's still going to be pretty safe. Lithuanian Knight skirm play is very strong.
Viper's now taking the engagement, didn't need to, but just feels like clearing this one up is good for him and won't lose a single unit. 5-0. And look at that, Viper even sends one scout away. So, okay, you're missing an eagle. Let's find that one and kill him as well.
Yeah, that's something I would never think of. Oh, whoa, teleporting scout is literally on top of the eagle.
Okay. That
Did you see the cav archer earlier?
Yeah.
Oh.
On the wall, on the house, yeah.
Yeah.
400 food for the Viper. Mr. Yo just clicked up, and he indeed did go for Market Blacksmith as you predicted, and we are just expecting more barracks here. And indeed, barracks number 2 now being dropped.
Yep, good stuff here for Yo. Still missing Horse Collar, but probably not the end of the world. Viper, of course, the skirmishers do slow down your castle age time, but Viper still has a lot of farmers, so he'll be able to get there pretty soon. And I don't think he's likely to be overrun or anything like that.
No, Mr. Yo just so good at walling behind this one in crucial situations. Most of his walls are already, well, houses behind palisade walls as well. I think maybe he needs to evacuate and go to the other wood line, but not the biggest loss for him.
Nope, not really. And he'll be getting good amounts of eagles out pretty soon. Aztecs with a faster production. Actually, no, those are spearmen on the way? Yes, they are.
Okay. Maybe a sneaky villager there could be something. While he's trying to wall behind this one. Now sends some army out, but, well, to fight outside.
Yep, that's just going to be the case. Does have +1 defense for his infantry. Skirms have fletching, but those are the only upgrades so far. And I think Yo's going to probably try and just wait till Castle Age, especially for the Eagle Warriors, since they'll be getting that +3 attack for free once the age up comes in. And
also 12 HP, 4 HP. Scouts are in. What a mistake by Mr. Yo. Very untypical for him.
Oh, that is huge. We'll be losing at least one villager, guaranteed. Having to go for some quick walls here. The skirms will just be, throwing their wet noodles at the villagers and it'll take forever to kill them. But still, this is a very awkward and uncomfortable position for Yo that he really didn't need to be in.
Oh, and now the scouts probably just willing to trade off. Are they running? Do you save them for sniping monks later on? Well, Viper isn't.
Yeah, that's well, it's a kind of a moot point, but I probably would, since you're going to be losing those skirms anyway. And you see that your opponent's going like full infantry, so it's like the skirms aren't going to matter at all. Anywho, Eagle Warrior is going to be coming in for Yo, but his eco is definitely worse than the Viper's right now. Lost a villager, some idle time. Viper has wheelbarrow, his opponent Yo does not. And Viper already with the double stable, so it's going to be some Lithuanian Knight play.
Oh, and Viper even adding another scout. Tries to take a look at what's coming, sees the upgrade, sees one defense upgrade as well. Wants to send that one away, and now did scout 4 relics behind this one. The only one at the top, not scouted by him. And, well, Monastery at the front. Would have expected that to be more in the second layer, but okay.
The clown in me says you go for the forward monastery so I can get the relics as quickly as possible, but then you build a second monastery in the back to keep them nice and safe, especially as Lithuanians.
Oh, that's very clowny.
Oh yeah, that's I've slowly been converted to more and more clowndom over time.
Okay, TC now added by the Viper. Mr. Yo still plays it 1 TC here. Eagles not with the craziest numbers. Oh, Knights in the center, cutting off some reinforcement. That's something that Viper did really well in game number 1 as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that he's very actively looking for, which is obviously something that's very good to do. Any free snipes you can get are going to be ideal. Monk will be coming out shortly. I think 1 will be out even faster for Yo. Indeed, that is the case. And Knights... actually, we're probably going to win this.
Yeah, and Viper, he shouldn't really lose too many knights here, right? He is outrunning the Eagles, so just take the fight and then run back, heal them up. Oh, that was a fast conversion.
Whoa, that was a very fast conversion. Well, more monks coming in, more Eagle Warriors. Viper did add a second TC, though, Whereas Yo is still only on the 1, and Viper is up 3 Vils, and has wheelbarrow to no wheelbarrow. I like Viper's position a lot.
So do I. First relic on the way home. Now another monk queued up, and Viper, you can see, he knows, okay, direct fights through the center is not really a thing. Just loops around and tries to maybe find some monks. Sends exactly 3 knights that could one-hit a monk then.
Yeah, that definitely would be a smart move. Bowsaw on the way for Yo. He is adding in his own second town center, but this just feels like, well, you're doing the same thing as your opponent, but slower. And the army comp for Viper is definitely, it's more population efficient. And once Lithuanians start gobbling up those relics, it is really hard to stop them.
Indeed it is. Second relic soon on the way. And trying to go for some poking here, but Mr. Yo with the defense. This time no instant conversion, but also no holds.
Nope. And second TC just finished for Yo. Third one now on the way. Viper, meanwhile... Oh, the classic Aztec Knight run by.
We all love it.
Oh, yeah.
Sending 5 knights back to deal with that. Viper never seen that before. Super scared.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this one's for all the marbles. He's even sending the third TC is going to be on just the secondary stone. Maybe Viper really wants to get into some Latus?
I think it's also protecting like your gold and stone behind that. So I think it's more of a protective, mainly for farming behind this one as well.
Oh yes, the farm TC. Classic. No, but I don't think that's I think the rationale there is fine. But what I really like for Viper is he's going to be on at least 3 relics as Lithuanians.
Could indeed be lovely. Didn't go for an attack upgrade so far. Knights now coming around, 8 of them. 1 monk to convert. I think a jump in here could make sense, but Mr. Yo needs to slip up for that.
Yeah, it's... Well, maybe with all the farms there, Viper would have to delete some farms, and Yo is gonna maybe go for it. Well, conversion comes in.
Pretty bad for the Viper. Eats 1 conversion at each side.
Someone gonna make this
monk and jump! Okay. Gets in there. His knight's lost.
The monk with his dying breaths just, hurls the relic at the monastery.
What a horrible sequence for the Viper here, though.
So bad.
Lost all his knights, only killed 1 monk, got converted at the front. Now villagers dying here. Actually, he did save all of them, but oh boy, that was horrible on so many ends.
It definitely was. Nice quick ball there for the 1 villager, but the town center, TC number 4, almost done. Lose was only 1 villager there, and the knights are coming back, and they do have +3 attack already.
That was a ballsy dive indeed.
Ooh. Now the knights are gonna nom those eagles, man. Ooh, even walling out the pikemen right there.
Not really. He instantly opened after that.
I lied.
Eagles. Viper doesn't even want to finish them off here, apparently. I'm a bit surprised. Now goes for the attack. Pikeman number at 15. Not unscary.
Definitely not. But the knights do have +3/+2. And... I don't think you want to take the fight uphill against a bunch of pikemen and a monk, though.
Apparently he does. Goes for the monk behind this one as well. Won't find the kill. And Viper just goes for 1 snipe and then runs away. Oh. Not a second snipe, though. Oh, runs. Might save him.
Indeed he will. Right now, Viper does have to be very careful. Yo's not too far behind economically. He's only 5 Vils behind. And... Viper is on 4 TCs, but his army is really low right now, and he's not at all close to a castle. So he's going to need to, I think, be pretty cautious in the next couple minutes.
Viper is dropping the second archery range. He will go into elite skirmishers again.
Seems like it. Yeah, the skirmishers are now queued up, and this is going to be fine. Obviously, it's a lot easier on the gold cost, and Knight Skirm is just a pretty decent army composition against most things. Even has a monk to heal up these injured knights, and I mean, +3 knights are going to be really scary, and Yo is going super heavy into pikemen. Sanctity coming in as well. More and more monkers. The clown push might be happening.
Viper has 5 TCs at the moment. Botkin flying in. Yeah, he had to rush the 4th one in there because he didn't have enough protection when the Eagles came in. And I wanted to expand for more wood there at the bottom. Oh, well, we see some villagers dying at the front. Knight count of the Aztecs player, not too bad.
It's the famous Aztec Knights. And they even get to keep the relic bonus from Lithuanians when they're converted.
Uh-oh. But the monastery, pretty much exposed here at the front. I think Viper needs a siege workshop.
Remember when I said that you have a monastery in the back so you have your relics nice and safe?
I'm hearing your words.
Oh, looks like maybe the conversion back. That knight doesn't know what to believe.
Oh, jumps on the ram. That would be horrible. Could eat so many conversions. One back indeed. And Skirmishers now dealing with this one. Eagle numbers not too crazy. Skirms could do some good job, but so many knights converted. Those are scary for the Skirms.
They're really scary, and that is a lot of pikemen here for Mr. Yo. He's also not too far away from a castle either. I mean, Yo has almost quadruple the army of Viper right now.
Just look at that, 13 to 41, now some more popping, but honestly there's not too much here. We have 3 archer ranges, double stable, production not too great. Only 4 villager lead as well. And Viper, what? No, he double clicked all his builds!
Oh, Viper needs a castle like yesterday. He has a market. Like, I would be balancing my eco for a castle like crazy at this point if I were Viper. Not getting ballistics, that seems so greedy!
Okay, now he's getting ballistics, and yeah, now, oh god, look at that. Mr. Yo, he's even yoinking those relics away.
Oh yeah, that's what you do. That's what you gotta do, and of course, once the relics are ejected, you completely lose that bonus, and now Viper went from 10+3 to 10+0. And then, of course, you know, then they're going to be Aztec relics, so they're going to be giving Yo plenty of resources. And look here, we have our red player fairly close to Imperial Age, too.
Okay, let's take a look. He will intercept one of the monks here. So Relic won't make it home. Surely will be a new first down, though.
Yeah, seriously.
And, well, still massive amount of idols forced here in the TCs. I don't see Mr. Yo using too many villagers, though. He has 3 TCs.
Yeah, he's got 3 TCs. The Knights don't have a bunch of extra attack. And yeah, Viper's got 5 TCs, but if you're losing all your villagers and having a ton of idle time, what difference does it make? And again, I have to go back to the fact that Viper's had a market this whole time and could have been buying stone for a castle, like, a long time ago. And now is punching down the ram, or the mangonels with villagers.
Oh, that's actually buying him some sweet time for sure. Pop 100 against 140, though. Not really sure if he needs time. Skirmishers are dying to the Eagles. Monks are coming around, and they will pick up the relics again. Knights need to run. It's looking so bad for the Viper in so many ends.
It really is. But Knights are actually finding a little bit of a counterattack room, sniping a bunch of villagers from Yo. But actually, Yo's not clicking up to an imp just yet, although he's almost there. Now, defensive castle coming in here for the Viper. He's housed, though, and that's pretty awkward, and just so many idols. Actually, Yo has a bunch, too, to be fair.
Okay, finally Mr. Yo sees it at the top. Built another lumber camp there. Not really sure if that makes it more efficient or less efficient. On the way to him, while Viper is still deep in Castle Age.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's got to really get his eco back up and running. His army is just significantly more expensive than his Yo's, and oh, Yo coming forward with 13 villagers right now.
Builds that castle in his face, and Trap War is basically guaranteed to go into Mr. Yo's favors. The Viper, though, with a score lead at the moment before we see another conversion.
Yeah, that's just really painful. Just a mixed infantry army here from Yo with some monks and some siege seems like the absolute perfect thing to go for at this point. Yo ahead in villagers, ahead in military by a drastic amount. He's going to be ahead in tech, too. And Yo even has 3 relics now.
Only 3? Bit surprised. Where did the others? Oh, there. The 4th one is coming now. One still at the top, not taken. Viper wants to go for another raid at the top, but Pikeman already around. Viper is clicking up to Imp any second, but it's still looking really rough.
Yeah, Viper clicking up to Imp. But, I mean, he's going to need to... Like, if he had a better army, I think that maybe he could be in an okay spot, but he just doesn't really seem to have the resources for it. I mean, the Lithuanian army is very expensive, and Lithuanians don't have an eco bonus at this stage, so it's going to be pretty rough.
Oi, 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 oi. What are the next steps here? Going for more knights, going for skirmishers is kind of the choice here for Viper, and on paper it's not the worst one, but, well, the numbers. 4 knights, 5 skirmishers.
If he still had the 3 relics, maybe, or if he had like a couple castles for like some latest production, and well, another castle's on the way, but Imp is in here for Mr. Yo. This is Viper's tournament life on the line right now, and oh...
Poof. That just happened.
When is the last time Viper got knocked out in the quarterfinals of a tournament?
MSC.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yo's just looking like a monster right now.
I did not expect this. Like, it's not a shocker that Mr. Yo wins against Viper, but 3-0 and basically never a game where Viper was looking really solid.
Yeah.
And it's not, I honestly, like, don't think Viper played poorly here, right? It was just Mr. Yo so incredibly beastly. Hallelujah.
Yeah, like this guy is just like a machine, man. His macro's amazing, his decision making is amazing, and his micro's on point. And like I think that he's actually going to be favored against either Hera or Leary just with this level of play, but we'll have to see how they are doing in the next series.
I kind of think that as well. Let's jump on to the interview of Mr. Yo.
People want to see your happiness, Mr. Mem. Mr. Yo.
Can't you see it?
I cannot see it now.
Wait.
Let's activate, and when you activate...
What about now?
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't see it. Now I see
send it again.
Now I see it. Now I see it. Mr. Yo, let me put the score, because I didn't put even the score there. 3-0 versus TheViper? And he drinks Red Bull. Why you drink Red Bull? 4-0 in Red Bull and now 3-0. Oh my god. Mr. Yo, is this on purpose? I task you and you put the Red Bull there? What is this,
No,
man?
they sent tons of this to me. I haven't finished it.
Okay. I mean, this is run tournament. People say this is run tournament. This is not Red Bull. It's King of the Desert. But we don't have a drink, you know. So, man, did you expect this?
Wait a second. I muted you. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you expect this?
No, of course not.
But it all went well. Like the Slavs game against the Mongols. What was your plan when you saw that civilization? What you were thinking?
Actually, I guess 3 times Viper's civilization. I guess all correct. So maybe I'm always get ahead of on the safe draft, I think. I mean, I guess his first pick would be Mongol, and his second pick would be what was that? Malian, and the last pick would be Lithuanian. Yeah. I guess all correct. So I picked the right safe to counter them.
So you really think that then Slavs easily can well, easily. Slavs is a good counter against the Mongols.
It's not good, but it's fine. I mean, if I use scout for first game, I will be dead.
For example, no mobility because you got the Cavaliers and the farm bonus
Yeah.
also for Slavs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and he made a mistake there trying to lay my boar, lay my elephant. I mean, so and he lost tons of HP on his scouts, and I was blocking him from luring the deer. So I guess I'm ahead on economy at start. So yeah.
Okay, and then the second match was Celts and Malians. Do you think that Celts is also a really good counter versus the Malians?
Celt counter almost everything except Mongol and Spanish. I mean, look at Huang. It's broken, really. It's broken.
Okay, look at Juan. Juan is what it is because of Celts, is what you mean.
I mean, maybe some Eagle Sieves can play well, do well with the Scout and maybe Spanish and Mongol, but any other Sieves, if I'm using the Celts, I'm not afraid of any other Sieves. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's broken.
And then we want to go to you like a man, like a human. You are 2-0 ahead, and you go into the last game, Aztecs versus Lithuanians. What were you feeling? Were you feeling okay? I can do it this time. What was Mr. Yo feeling?
I was happy because I guess his Sieves right again. I was really happy at the start, but then I get housed. Yeah. Then I was not that happy, but I think overall, I'm quite confident with my Aztecs, so I figure I will win this game for sure. And
Okay.
he must be under a lot of pressure because it was kind of like his last chance to win. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you are in the semi-final. How do you feel right now?
Happy, of course, happy.
Super happy, right? But
Yeah.
I noticed that you are calm because this is not your main goal in the tournament, right?
No, it's like my mini goal.
Mini goal. So he has
Yeah.
won the Viper, and this is your mini goal because
No,
what
I
you
mean,
won yeah,
reach the semifinal.
is your minimum. Is what
Yeah.
you expected. Okay. And now we're going to see Leary versus Hira. Any preference? Because now you're gonna face one of those in the semifinal the next Saturday.
I will always like Hera more. I think his style, I don't know, he's super fast and he's strong in late game. And I don't think Leary is as strong as him in late game. And in early game, they are almost the same level, I think.
Okay. So who you prefer then in the semifinal? Any preference or you don't care?
Hera.
You want Hira? You want Hira? Okay.
No. Who do I want to play with?
Yeah.
Of course, Leary. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Leary.
you consider Hira the strongest player left in the tournament?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what Mr. Yo said. Mr. Yo, congratulations. What time is it in China right now?
Let me see. It's 2:40.
2:43 a.m. and you look fresh like a fruit, man. You know, you
Yeah.
look so fresh,
Yeah,
amigo.
It's
Happiness. People was telling, no, Mr. Yo, this is a bad time for him. You are used to play at these times, right? I believe. Don't
Yeah,
tell
it's
opposite,
morning.
you kill me.
it's morning for me.
It's morning for you. Well, congratulations, Mr. Yo. Happy for you, and we will see you in the next Saturday with another crazy gameplay, I'm sure.
Thanks.
Thank you, man, for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.